There are two types of people in this world, those who wait for things to happen and those who make it happen.
Here at the Moose Lounge Podcast, that's who we like to have on. The ones who are sick of the 9 to 5 and want to do what they love and feel alive.
We like to find out what they do, how they did it, and what they're doing to keep it going and stay relevant.
Don't think we're just some boring, predictable interview podcast. We do so while drinking America's only native spirit, bourbon.
So sit back,
grab a glass,
and enjoy
while you listen to us interview individuals who have turned passions into careers. Available bi-weekly everywhere you get your podcast.
Booyah.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Mike.
I'm Tabby.
And we're the Grace Taproom Podcast.
We are a comedy podcast that discusses pop culture. We talk movies, TV shows, music, sci-fi, horror, just to name a few things.
Be sure to visit our link tree at linktr.ee/Grace Taproom Podcast 2. There you can find all of our listening platforms, our socials, and our merch store.
And if you can't get enough of our regular show, then go subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Grace Taproom Pod. There you can choose one of our 4 monthly tiers, $1, $3, $5, and $10.
We hope you enjoy this episode. Yep, the one you're listening to right now.
Remember, don't text and drive, don't drink and drive, and always drink responsibly.
You heard her. Do it.
Taproom closed.
Mike's in chat now, and he said his penis is mediocre. I don't know why you had to share that, but I appreciate your honesty, and I'm really glad that you were able to level with everybody. That way to own it though.
She's an idiot, but I guarantee you, her nether regions are sweet.
Well, he's on tour. He's been all over Europe. I think he's in Bulgaria. He was in. He's been in several other places trying to drum up support, getting some extra money and some arms and things. But he's literally going door to door.
He's the fucking Ukrainian Oliver Twist. Please, sir, may I have another?
You're about to listen to Whiskey Hell Podcast, a show centered on recent news, excellent craft beer, and absolute debauchery. While the guys are getting ready, you can reach them on Twitter at whiskey_hell. You can also go to the whiskeyhellpod.com or email them at whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com. At the end, be sure to drop them a review as a thank you for the content. Looks like they're ready. Enjoy the show, and listener discretion is advised.
Saturday night, October 14th, 7:24 in the evening. This is Whiskey Hell, the podcast that takes the narratives from the week and tries to make sense of them. Fitz, welcome back.
Oh yeah, right back at you. I mean, another week gone by, way too quickly. By the way, if I could just, like Monday dragged a little bit, but I don't remember Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday being a day. Like they all just kind of felt like one long day, and then boom, it was Friday, and then here we are. So crazy week. More. I know this is gonna surprise everybody, but more fucked up shit in the news. More fucked up shit. So it's gonna be a good show. I've got another surprise beer that we're going to try and decipher and figure out.
All right.
And then I've got for my second beer, I'm really excited because it is fall and getting into my pumpkin, phase for the year. So I've got a great pumpkin beer. Hope it's great. So anyway, lots to get to tonight. This doc is a monster. It just kept growing.
Yeah, the doc is a monster, but a lot of it's because we've got an Israel Hamas update.
Right.
And a lot of it is because of that. Almost the first page is that. Now, I promise we're not going to stick on this the whole show. We won't.
No, we can't.
But a lot of this, and this is for our patrons, you guys get the docs early. So if anybody wants to join our Patreon, it's Whiskey Hell Podcast. Go on to the patreons.com and search us out. We've got 3 different tiers. You guys can join one of those, but anywhere you join, you're going to get access to the doc that we produce weekly. Now this doc is heavy, right? It's heavy in all the stuff that's been going on, but this was all diversions and all propaganda all week.
Yeah.
There's very little fact coming out. You can't trust what you're seeing. It was absolutely disgusting, the amount of just lies and deceit from all sides. It was
rhetoric,
terrible.
propaganda. I mean, the propaganda machine is in full swing here. And it makes me feel like there are some big events to come in the coming days, just because they're ramping up the rhetoric so much. Look over here, look over here, look over here, and then bam, we get hit with the Red Cross. Rope-a-dope. So yeah, the rhetoric was off the chain, and I'm hoping that tonight is. I hope we can play a bit of a. I won't say narrative bust, but if we could even just pull back the curtains a bit and just say, look at the incongruencies here. One side saying one thing, the other side saying the other thing. They can't both be true. So as McShane often says, the truth is somewhere in the middle, and I'm hoping we can get to that middle ground tonight. But yeah, crazy.
Throughout the night, let's do a couple things, especially for this first half. We'll play true or not true.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll try and see if we can figure out if we're biting on any of these claims. Okay, so that'll be the first part. And by the end of the night, we need to have what was the game that we were playing last week? It was, or not last week, week before, I think. It was when Bowman. We decided whether was it what the hell was it? Something an asshole? What was it? Do you remember that?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the hide the pickle game. I don't.
No, we weren't playing the hide the pickle game. That wasn't us. That might have been you after the show with your significant other.
Yeah. I don't remember what we called it. I vaguely remember playing a game. Yeah. Let's look on last week.
All right, so that would have been
132.
Asshole or incompetence segment,
Wasn't it?
Asshole or incompetence? Yeah, it was this one here. That was,
asshole or incompetent.
Yeah. So we should come up with one by the end of the show. We didn't have one last week.
Okay.
So let's just go ahead and get started up here. What beer are you drinking?
Oh shit. Well, I haven't opened it yet, and on top of it, it's a surprise. But let's go ahead and get to the website. This is from Schilling Brewing. I have enjoyed a couple of their beers in the past. I couldn't tell you which ones though. Even if I've had this beer before, I'm not really sure what I'm getting into here. This one was picked out by my wife. Okay. I'm thinking we have a cider here because it's pouring almost clear.
Yeah, if it's from Schilling, it's got to be a cider.
Yeah. And I'm going to guess a pineapple. I haven't even tasted it yet, only because it's pouring like that super, light. I mean, I can see all the way to the bottom of my cup in this. It's so light. So here we go. Yeah. Oh. Okay, what's on in here?
Is
not
this
pineapple?
Is this Schilling beer? Is it out of Littleton, New Hampshire? Is that the Schilling?
I believe so.
Okay.
No. This is a cider.
Okay.
It's not. Okay, well, let me tell you the flavor notes here, and then can do the actual brewer. I'll take the can out.
It's okay. I think I've got it here. So.
Yeah. There. That's what we're. Yes, I'm gonna have to have her write that on there because that's like the full name of their brewery, Schilling Hard Cider. Okay, This I'm tasting like an apple pie. I'm just there's some spices in this that I just can't place. It's not definitely not cardamom. It's not cinnamon. And yet there's some kind of spice in it. That was for the ladies, by the way. I don't know what I'm getting here.
All right. So walk
whatever
us
it
through.
is, it's good. Okay. Real it's dry cider.
Okay.
It is sweet, but it's not overly sweet. And then on the back, I'm just getting these other subtle flavors in there. That's why I said apple pie, but that's wrong too. This is something else. This is hybrid. Do you know what I'm almost tasting is like an orange? Sorry.
But you're not getting any berries though, right?
I don't think so, no.
And
No berries.
are you getting any kind of is there any kind of sour there?
Maybe a little. Maybe a little.
I'm going to go with it's either the London Dry or you're getting Dreamsicle.
Okay. Well, let's go for the reveal. Bam. Dreamsicle. Orange and vanilla. Nailed it. Well done, McShane. Well done. I knew there was like a citrusy orange.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's
Bam.
neat.
Oh, it is. It's actually. I'm actually surprised. I would not have picked a cider for myself first tonight, but she just was really excited for me to try this. I'm really pleased with. Very good. You know what's kind of cool too is that not knowing what flavors they want you to get before you open it or before you drink it is kind of cool, because if I'd have gone into this expecting an orange dreamsicle, I might have been a little disappointed because it's apple first. But because I didn't know that going in, it was like apple first, but then there's the orange dreamsicle on the end, and it's really pleasant.
That's
so
really cool.
This is fun. I like game. This is fun.
So we get chilling out here, and that's awesome that you went with it. And that was your phantom beer of the night. I like that segment. I think it's neat, and I'm glad you did a cider also. I've got one for my second beer, which
nice.
I'm eager to see how that goes. I'll get more into that when I get to it. So we have Maine Beer Company finally out here. Really, really solid East Coast beer. And this one's their coffee stout. They're not real fancy. You're not going to get a beautiful, crazy name or labels. It's just, this is the beer. And there you go. The one I've got here is going to be the coffee stout called Fall. It's 5.6. It's their annual release, so it's only going to come out this time of year. As the leaves begin to change and cooler nights prevail, we celebrate the turn of the season with our autumnal offering. Fall is a stout made with cold brew coffee, chosen and brewed with our friends from Coffee by Design. So, they're going to say it's dark chocolate, coffee, molasses notes, and notes of cedar and pine. So I'm expecting something that's going to be a little bit more hoppy than your typical stout, but we'll see how that goes. Yep. I don't taste the coffee at all. We're going to give it some time.
Usually they overdo the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's really dry like a porter too. Oh, not bad. This one's going to be okay. This is a good starter beer.
All right.
You do get a little bit of dark chocolate at the back end of it. The coffee is definitely, it grows on you after about 2 or 3 sips, it seems like.
Okay.
So I'm happy with that. Yeah. A lot of head. You know, like it's almost like the head that you get on a hazy.
Okay. I thought that you were gonna say, it's almost the head that you get from a blonde, but okay.
No, I was at. We'll call her a hazy tonight. What would a female hazy? What would be a hazy female be?
A hazy female. I think one of those like those super blonde girls from Tattoo Magazine. So she's fun because she's blonde. But she's, head to toe, sleeves, just full on tattoos everywhere. Like our friend Olive on Twitter. I'm still trying to work getting on the show. Still working on her. She's vaguely committed a couple of times and then flaked out. So I don't know, but she does porn, and that's her main thing. And I said, you can come on and talk about what you know, because porn would be great. I mean, I don't want to steal anything from Porn Stash. I know those guys are just killing it in that whole genre. That's not what but it'd be just fun to have her on as a guest to just talk about, I don't know, fucking orgies she's been a part of. Anyway, so that's what I picture a hazy being.
Why don't you just set up a time, record a Zoom session with her, just do 5 minutes. We'll post it for our patrons, and she can talk about whatever she wants to talk about during that 5 minutes.
Just the two of us?
Just the two of you. Yes. Yeah. Lean into the phone really tight for her.
Oh, Olive. And... I mean, I have a crush. I have to admit, I have a crush. She's so cute and hot and cute. Anyway. We have a show to get to. I'm enjoying my orange sickle, my dream sickle cider. It's going down way too fast. I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, I hope you got a side bitch with
water.
you.
I didn't even see what the ABV was on this. Oh, it's a 7%er. So, but I do have my side bitch beer here, so all's good there. I'm good.
Right on. Well, getting to who we've got in chat tonight, we've got Joe from Bold Talk by Joe. You guys definitely need to check out his show, as well as Aaron from I Had to Say It Pod. 2 fantastic shows.
Oh, yeah. Check them out. If you're not already, check them out.
Yep. Attitude, driven, very just poignant discussions that we don't have today a lot of times, and these guys are doing it every show, and that's fucking amazing. I love them. So, and Buttercup, thank you for joining us from San Francisco. I hope everything's going well there, and you haven't touched any fentanyl, and nobody's broken into your car. I hope those are good things.
Don't touch the fentanyl. That might be the name of the show.
But welcome to chat.
Yeah, I feel we off-road on this show, but I feel like Joe and Aaron get to like just hang glide. Like they're just up there, at 5,000 feet looking at the shit show and just screaming at people. Like, you guys are fucking idiots. What are you doing? That might be a terrible analogy, but I feel like they get to go places we can't. Just because of the nature of each of their shows. And it's really great. I love the fact that you guys are a part of this show so much. But I also love that you guys both of you are doing your thing, and it's killing. So keep it up.
Big shout out to our new friends across the pond, Chris and Aaron from Semi Skeptic. Fitz and I were on there last week, and I could not have been happier with how that turned out. Those guys are awesome. Knowledgeable. They dig into things much like we do. And it was fascinating to get a take on what's going on in the UK. Those guys are seeing. I almost feel like we're about 2 years behind where they are in the whole evolution of their country. And it was eye-opening and kind of scary that all that stuff that we've been hearing is actually true.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, with all the freaking cameras and taxing people, and you know what? Yeah, you know what was so cool? I was talking to somebody about it. They're kind of, I mean, in some ways they're like our British counterparts as far as podcasting goes, but they're just so fucking British. Which I know that sounds like redundant, but they just, I mean, from the humor to just the way they were, their colloquialisms, wow, that was a big word. Sorry. And just they convert and talked. They're quick, they're witty, they're funny. And then also like McShane saying, very bright, very well informed, and asking really good questions. Like, it kind of was like a 4-way interview. We were all kind of interviewing each other. Like, what do you think about this? It was just a really fun time. So if you guys haven't checked out their podcast, they are also doing it right. So dude, it's taken up by podcasts. I mean, my drive to and from work is all podcast.
Yeah.
And then other times during my day when I'm just trying to like chill out, I'll throw on a podcast, and then we do a podcast. It's crazy, but it's awesome. I love it. I love the conversation.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that's Semi-Skeptic. You guys can download them anywhere. I listen to them on Spotify. You can get them on Apple Pods. You can get them everywhere. And you can also go to @Semi-Skeptic on Twitter and definitely follow their show there. And I love the community that we've got that we're kind of associating with. And it's just, it's heartening. Don't feel like we're shouting in the wind.
Right.
It's there. I guess we've got hope. And actually, it felt like that after we got out of that show. Like, there might be some hope because there's others other like minds out there. So hats off to those guys, and thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to working with you guys again.
For sure.
So let's go ahead and get into this propaganda and all this bullshit from this week. As we said at the top of the show, we were going to say, we're going to see what's true and what's false, right? What we're buying, what we're selling. The big one from this week, I don't want to bury the lead here, but this was a massive, massive hammer that got thrown out by some Israeli media that didn't, it was misrepresented, and it was I-24, which is basically, it's like MSNBC here. It's an extension of the government. And I didn't realize that at the beginning of the week. But the way the week evolved, doing a little bit more research, it was pretty clear that that's exactly what these guys, this is Netanyahu's arm. And let me just get in here, and I'm going to go ahead and play this update from the this news person where she's...
Sorry, I'm sorry. For those of you who haven't seen the clip, please go find it. It'll be in the show notes as always. But just looking at this poor girl, and listen, I mean, she's getting a paycheck. She thinks this is her big break into journalism. I mean, I felt sorry for her the entire time she was talking. She's a baby. She's young, and she has no idea what she's doing. No idea. Anyway, I just wanted to set that up.
Exactly, just the mass casualties that happened right here. In fact, the Israeli military says they still don't have a clear number, but I'm talking to some of the soldiers, and they say what they've witnessed as they've been walking through these different houses, these different communities, babies, their heads cut off. That's what they said. Gunned down, families completely gunned down in their beds. You can see some of these soldiers right now comforting each other. Many of them reserves who jumped into action, leaving their own families behind as well, not knowing the sheer horror that they were about to come to. They say they've never experienced anything like this. This is nothing that anyone could have even imagined when you're walking through here. Baby cribs thrown to the side. Doors thrown wide open. Still some Israeli bodies still here because the fighting in this community just ended just recently. So many of these troops are still going house to house, door to door. It's taken them sometimes 30 minutes, 40 minutes, because many of these houses are also still have grenades in them, booby traps. In fact, as we're trying to get closer to some of these scenes, we're being told, no, get back from some of these Israeli military because there are still grenades in the area. I want us to keep walking through, continue to kind of see the destruction that's happening on the ground here. Even something as simple as a soccer net just left to the side here as people were with their families playing. I see in the distance more bodies being covered, all the while as they're covering these Israeli bodies trying to evacuate everyone else.
All right, so that clip goes on for another minute and about 29 seconds.
Yeah.
So you guys can go ahead and check
you
it
gotta,
out.
I think the really big takeaway there is you got to watch out for the soccer nets. I mean, they'll get you. It was just cast aside, McShane.
Did you see all the destruction and all the bodies?
There were zero, and
there were zero.
Like if you walked through just like a random condo or apartment complex here in the States,
well, it looks like a camp.
This is
it
what
looks
you
like
would
I'm going
see.
to camp. It looks like a religious camp.
Yeah, there's cabins. The grass is well tended. There's no blood. There's no craters. I mean, yes, a soccer net was sort of willy-nilly misplaced. And I love when she was like, look at the Israeli soldiers all comforting each other. It's just a bunch of people standing around.
Just a bunch of dudes. Yeah.
Nobody was hugging. No one was crying. No one had a hand on a shoulder. It was just a bunch of people standing around with cameramen in their face.
So immediately when this dropped, I think that was on Monday, the first thing I said to you, and we both agreed right at the time, was that this doesn't look right. There's nothing about this that looks right. She was, if you're listening to her voice, you close your eyes and you listen to her voice, how choppy it is, how unsure she is. This isn't, it was well past somebody who just was a green reporter, right? Yeah. That sounded like a story that she was told, you've got to sell this, and she didn't know how to do that since there really wasn't anything to go off. So imagine in your mind's eye, 40 babies that have been decapitated. Imagine all the destruction that you're telling. I don't know what was this was the worst. And I get it. They're at war, right? War is terrible. War is terrible completely. I would like for it to stop. I would not like to. I've seen the destruction. I've seen it on both sides. Both sides are wrong. This was not a depiction of a war. This was not a depiction of this was her. She was told to go ahead and get this message out, get the soundbite out, and make sure that you've got something to that just get our message out. That's really what it was. We've got Hefe on the line here too now. He's jumping in. He's gonna have to unmute there. And hey, El, welcome to the to chat. Hey, Jeff.
Hefe.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much. We were talking about 40 beheaded babies. You came in at a great time.
Yeah, great time.
Isn't that the same number of virgins that are waiting for the suicide bombers up there? Isn't it 40?
Oh no, I think that was 70. How's the night going, dude? What's popping?
It's a Saturday. It's busy. Got $100, so could be worse.
Buddy, here's a question I'm going to ask you every week.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure why I need to know this, but I've actually been thinking about this for most of the day. Has anybody hit a big, they had $50 or more on a number in roulette? Hit that today?
Well, our max is 25, but there was a guy last week that had he didn't have 25s, but he had the number 2 loaded up because that's like a special number on roulette because you can bet it a lot of different ways. It's like the one number you can bet more than any other number because you can tie it into the 0 and 00.
Right.
So there's like a bunch of ways you can bet the number 2, and he actually loaded up all over, like cornered it with the 1 and the 4 and the 5 and split it with the 1. And so I think he won $1,900 on one spin. So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's big. See,
it wasn't me. I didn't. I was the next table over.
No, but that's just exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah, he was pretty excited. Very excited.
I mean, and I don't know of another game other than roulette where you can just like, fuck it, let it ride. And because it's happened to me. It's actually done it. I put my last $10 down on Black 28 and it hit. And then I had a really good rest of the evening. And so it's like super exciting because you just see that ball fall in there and it's just, so I'm just going to ask you that every week. I'm going to try and remember to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be ready for it.
Excellent.
What else is going on?
Propaganda, the usual. We're just talking about that stuff. Any thoughts on what you've seen from this week?
Well, my thoughts are that I have no idea what to have as thoughts. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's bullshit, what's real, bullshit or not.
Well, and that's the point, right? I mean, you when you put out this much propaganda, one of two things is going to happen. If you're talking to your base, the sort of below intelligence people, they're going to believe it 100% and they're going to run with it. But the other thing that's going to happen is the rest of us are going to be wondering what the fuck is happening. I don't know what's true. Either way, these people win, right? Either you strengthen your base or you confuse everybody else. It's a win-win.
Yep.
So I want to propose something. This is good that you're here, Hefe. I want to propose something. I feel like, how like, and I don't know if they do this anymore because I haven't been to a club or a bar where they, are carding young people. But remember when we used to go into the bars and they put a little, stamp on your hand? Just say over 21, or you go to the concert and they stamp your hand over 21 or under 21, whatever. I think before you go into like any store, any place of employment, like your work, anywhere where there's many people, right? It's outside of your friends' family. There's going to be lots of people there. I think you should have to have a stamp that either you're like, Republican, so you get a red stamp. Democrats get a blue stamp. But then you can like specifically identify in that genre. So like if you're a MAGA Republican, it would be a red MAGA stamp. But if you're just like, I'm not really MAGA, but I definitely am for the Second Amendment, then you get like a red gun, right? And then on the flip side, if you're like an LGBTQ Democrat, that's the stamp you get where like, everybody needs to get 15 vaccinations, then you get that stamp. So you instantly know like, hey, we start this conversation, Bob, I need to see your fucking hand. Show me your hand. And so the rest of us who are like, oh, no, thank you, I'm stamp free. I'm in the middle because I'm a moderate because I see all the sides. Or our stamp is black and it just says, like
we're dead inside?
Or yeah, dead inside. Perfect. Yes. And then that way we all know where we're all at because you just right now, I feel like I need to know who the fucking sheep are. I feel like I need to know who the thinkers are. And so that I can just stop wasting my time with the sheep because they're believing this stuff. I'm sorry. That was a long, convoluted way for me to get to the fact that I can't talk to these people anymore because they're hook, line, and sinker bought in, and you can't reason with them. Logic is out the window. It's insane.
I'll make snarky comments on some timelines.
Excuse me.
And sometimes, well, one person commented, and this was after I made a comment that it really seems funny that no, all the Arab countries will get all butthurt about this, but nobody wants to go ahead and take any Palestinians in, right?
Right.
And I made that comment, and The comments that I got were from folks that had a Ukraine flag and an Israeli flag and a Palestinian flag on their account. You're stupid, or I'm not even going to comment on this. Like, you just did to fucking comment on it.
Yeah.
When people, it is defining. They'll throw this stuff on their accounts, and okay, you wear your badge with honor. I know where you're coming from, and then you open your mouth, you start typing something. It's like, I can't. You're a fucking idiot.
Yep.
And you think we're gonna get to the point, to your point, where we're all wearing VR goggles and people can just wear the flag over they'll be over their little avatar, and they'll just be bouncing through the screen and stuff, and you'll know exactly who they are?
I hope so. I hope so, because then you would know instantly who to avoid.
And that goes for both sides. I don't need to hear, no. I don't go with, I'm instantly MAGA, even though I'm right down the fucking middle. That is carte blanche. That is always the comment. Oh, well, you're just a MAGA. Well, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm speaking logically to you. That doesn't mean I'm far right. It doesn't mean I'm far left. It just means, fuck you, I'm thinking. Yes, Aaron, we do need to be careful. Yeah. We're starting to sound like you. Yes. Well, I hope so. But this is it. This is the world that we're living in. And we've seen that all fucking week. Harvard students backtracking on support because I think it was 30 different school organizations signed this letter of support for Hamas. And now they fucked around, found out, and Bill Ackerman came out, $3.5 billion Bill Ackerman came out and said, yeah, we'd like to know each of these individuals who are signing these letters because we don't want to hire you now when you come out of Harvard Biz.
Oops.
Yep. Oops is right.
If we spent...
If there's one silver lining that's coming out of all this, is there are some really pretty amazing fuck around and find out moments. I mean, I think Bud Light was the first, most public and our face example, but even like LM, all the investigative reporting done that, their grass was all buying, $1 million homes for themselves and their whole family. That's fine. You can grandstand all you want, and you can on any box you'd like to, but we're gonna go deeper. And if you want to jump on that bandwagon, there are consequences. There's prices to pay for that.
It was just, and to Aaron's point, their entire identity is tied up in their stance. To question that would shatter their self-identity. This is where we've come. We live in phones. We live in computers. We don't take our heads out of it. The only thing that we care about is whatever cause that we've got in front of us. And God forbid, these people have never seen a real war. Let's not forget, what you're seeing here isn't even a real war yet. Yes, there's a whole bunch of people dying. Yes, there's a whole bunch of bombing going on. Yes, you've got Israel's getting rocket attacks from the north and the south, and yeah, they're in a total war stance. But this is not a war. You want to see a war? Go look at historic bombing campaigns. 2 days, 40,000 people dead in World War II at times. This is nothing. So to get all uppity over this, you're just soft. You haven't seen shit yet.
No. I mean, they obviously don't know what happened at Stalingrad.
No.
Or how many men the Russians sacrificed for World War II. I mean, yeah, you're talking millions. I mean, 40 babies, which again, this has been debunked, but 40 bodies is nothing when you're. I mean, can you imagine 2 million bodies all stacked together or buried in makeshift graveyards? No, you're absolutely right. They have no idea. Most of these people have never even been hit in the mouth or on accident. Like, they take some hot soup and that ruined their day. So no, they have no idea number one, what it takes to go to war, number two, what it takes to conduct war, and number three, the consequences of war. They have no idea. So yeah, but again, if stamp were on their hand, I'm going to make it better. It needs to be a tattoo that looks like your cheek or your forehead or something.
Oh, be careful with tattoos.
No, it's permanent.
We don't want tattoos and numbers. Don't want barcodes.
Well, okay, fair enough. I don't. All right, fair enough. A stamp would be fine.
Go with the stamp. They can wash the stamp off, and they can wise up at some point. All right, so I'm not buying the 40 baby thing. I'm not.
No,
I'm not buying it.
No, especially when I found
debunked.
I found that whole deal about like the significance of the number 40, and it's a subliminal message to, like, it's one of those if you know you know kind of things. And if anybody in chat or anybody who's listening to this podcast, look up significance of the number 40 in the Old Testament, and they didn't just pick this number out of the air, guys. This wasn't like they found 16 and a half babies. They picked the number 40 for a reason. It would be if the Freemasons came out and they're like, hey, we found 33 and a third babies, like that. It's that kind of significance. So go out, look that up, do yourself a favor. It's also in show that I found a video that kind of sums it up, but this isn't an arbitrary number. And to go back to the original clip, that poor girl, like you said, McShane, she was told, look, you need to sell this. We know it's bullshit, but it's going to help the war effort. So go out there, and gave her a pat on the ass, and she did that. You all heard, which was terrible. So
yeah, and then she's since backtracked too, and it was debunked. Yeah. It's not it's not fucking
proof of it. Zero proof. Nobody saw any decapitated babies.
Netanyahu knew 3 days before the attack. Egypt told them it was coming. They told them it was ramping up. Something was going to happen. And then 3 days before, they told them what was going to come. And we talked about this last week. Netanyahu was down with this attack. I am firmly believing that was done. That the repercussions, the allowance of them to go and complete the attack, I think that was on purpose.
Oh, 100%. Just like, we knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen. Like 5 days beforehand? Those airplanes didn't just fly across the Pacific to Hawaii in 2 minutes. We knew it was coming, and we did nothing. We let it happen so that we went into World War II. Well, why do you think Netanyahu wanted this to happen? He has openly said that he sees the people in Gaza as animals, and that they need to be exterminated like rats. He's openly said that. So of course, let's do it.
So I'm not sure on whose guns they're using. I can't tell you that it's Ukraine's. I can't tell you that it's Russia's. I know there's been a lot of talk of that.
Yeah,
there's
been some reports. Well, for sure they got some American weapons from Afghanistan because they were.
Well, you can see them with
some
M4s.
of the Hamas. Yeah, right. They've got M4s. And fully loaded out.
ACOG sites
American
and stuff.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's all American made stuff. The Ukraine thing. There was a report earlier in the week that Ukraine was selling. You're gonna love this. They were selling American weapons. We gave them part of our, whatever it is. What are we up to now? 130 billion. Part of our aid package.
I lost count.
For you. Yeah, I can't count that high anyway. They were selling some of our weapons we sent to Hamas. This is so absurd, and it's one of those things where a company, or in this case a country, an industrial complex, the military industrial complex, can get so big and so convoluted. We literally have no idea where the money's going. We literally have no idea where the weapons are going, where all of our planes are. If you ask McDonnell Douglas, do you know where all of your F-16s that you've ever produced, do you know where they all are in the world? they would not be able to answer that.
Well,
that's fucking profound.
Well, the Pentagon's failed the last 2 or 3 audits, so they have no idea where stuff is.
Remember the last time that they misplaced a large amount of money and couldn't pass an audit? Remember what happened then?
Well, it was this year. It was like earlier in the year.
I'm saying before all of this debacle, the last time this happened was 9/11. Remember? They came out and they're like, hey, we've misplaced like $1 trillion. We're not sure where it is. And that was September 10th. And then the next day, 9/11 happened, and nobody ever got questioned on that press conference. Well. That, oh shit, I can't remember his name right now. I can see Rumsfeld came out, and he was like, hey, we misplaced $1 trillion. We're searching it. And then where do you think the quote unquote plane, which it wasn't, but let's pretend it was, the plane hit in the Pentagon? It was that accounting office where that $1 trillion, where they were starting to try and find where it went. So the last time we had this many accounting errors and we couldn't find all our shits going, major stuff started happening. And here we are again, I guess.
Well, this is, I want to throw it out here to our boy, Mr. John Kirby. Let's do that.
Oh,
Kirby. I'm sorry. It's very, excuse me, very difficult to look at these images, Jake, and the human cost. And these are human beings. They're family members, their friends, their loved ones, cousins, brothers, sisters. Yeah, it's difficult, and I apologize.
John Kirby crying on air.
Israelis only. He wouldn't have that same reaction if we showed what was going on in, Gaza right now.
No,
this was for the Israelis. Period.
It's surreal. Here, this is a good one. Here's a good video. Hamas shared a video by mistake, which is now removed, of a doll that was counted as one of the babies killed by IDF attacks. Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's the doll that I used in my CPR class last week.
It does. It does look like one of those. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it does. Yep. So that's nice.
So you see something like that, guys, and we all remember the body bags when COVID was really hitting. The body bags where like
the guy smoking in the body bag.
Yeah, the dude is taking a drag off his cigarette, or the one person had to unzip their bags they couldn't breathe. I mean, they are setting this up to make all of us think that things are happening that are really not happening. It's all for propaganda. It's all to gain support. It's also that they can ramp up their war machine. I'm so thankful for all the listeners of this show because you all get it. I don't know how we get everyone else to get it because the war drums are beating. People are going to die because they are believing the footage they're seeing. They're going to get passionate about it, just like we did in 9/11. Well, fuck everybody over there, terrorists. We're going to go over there. Al-Qaeda can just go to hell. Some guys signed their lives away so that they could go over there and fight a fake war for oil and gas. And here we are again.
Fitz.
Yeah.
I think all that matters is that Black Lives Matter stands with Palestinians.
Of course they do.
This was really surprising this week. Not that it was it was a press grab. It was a farce. It was typical Black Lives Matter. It wasn't, they switched their header on Twitter. This is BLM Chicago, by the way. So that it showed the Hamas parachuting in.
Yeah.
And And then they went and posted this. Black Lives Matter grassroots stands in solidarity with our Palestinian family who are currently resisting 57 years of settler colonialism and apartheid. As black people continue the fight to end militarism and mass incarceration in our own communities, let us understand the resistance in Palestine as an attempt to tear down the gates of the world's largest open-air prisons. As a radical black organization grounded in abolitionist ideals, we see clear parallels between black and Palestinian people. This is the largest pile of shit I have probably ever seen posted online. And that's saying something.
It's so funny how many, you know how many people are truly do not know history, because they actually think that all of this started in 1947 when the partition started to happen after World War II. They literally think that Israel and Palestine, that this whole division, that this whole war started then. Like, and so they're like trying to go back and be like, hey, it's been 60 years of bullshit. It's time to give it.
Yeah,
you fucking morons. This has been going on for thousands of years. Go look at your history. Go read the fucking Bible, for God's sakes.
If you're going to quote it and you're going to run around and preach it, then you should probably read it.
Yeah. It's comical. It's comical.
It's surreal that this is what is going on. Now they've since pulled all of their. I mean, they've left up all the Israeli hate, right? They've left that up, so they've got that throughout their Twitter feed. But they pulled down all the other significant stuff. That's they're back to the Black Lives Matter billboard and their header, also.
Yeah.
You know, and let's not forget that Hamas isn't a friend of blacks. They kill black Israelis left and right. They don't care. Let's make sure that that's out there too.
Well, and I'm not going to say what I was just about to say. I will say this though. Just know that, the West Bank, that is basically an open air prison. I mean, the Israelis are not guiltless in any of this, and I don't think I know McShane, I know you're not going to say or anything like that, but anybody who's telling you that one side is in the right here is fucked, because atrocities, unimaginable atrocities, have happened on both sides, and so make no mistake, this is a power grab, a land grab, a holy war on a level that you none of us have any concept of.
No.
And so anytime,
and it's not even bad yet.
Right, exactly. It hasn't even kicked off yet. Exactly. I think it will very soon, but you're right. We have tragedy ahead. And it's did you know, if you put an Israeli flag emoji on your Instagram account, they will boost your content, but if you put a Palestinian flag on your Instagram account, you are banned instantly.
So today,
and I'm not asking anyone to try it, but
to your point, Meta took off. I want to say it's CUD or COD, QUD. That's a Palestine news network. Yakud. They took them off of Facebook, so they're no longer on Facebook. And there's a couple other news groups that were taken off because of the quote unquote Palestinian propaganda that was being put up there. So, yeah, Facebook's being Facebook though, right? I mean, Meta's being Meta. They're going to do that stuff,
right?
So it doesn't surprise me that they're all over Instagram doing that.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, that right there just tells you, like, this is you're only allowed to see one side of the story. And Romeo and Juliet, if you only got, the Capulet side of that story, you would absolutely be anti-Montague and how dare they, and they were the bad guys. The brilliance of Shakespeare in that play was that he showed both sides, and it was a romantic tragedy because they were both wrong. And as a consequence, both died. That was the brilliance of that play. And yet here we are only being shown one side of this war, of this argument, of this religious point of view. and it's disgusting to me. It's disgusting because let's all understand, if the Nazis had won World War II, we would all think Hitler was like God's gift to man, because the winners write the history, period.
Do you think we need to redo G.I. Joe, the TV series? Because we only got G.I. Joe's side of it. We never got Cobra's. We don't know how Cobra was oppressed.
Dude,
you know,
you're a fucking genius. Okay, someone needs to start working on this right now. Reboot of G.I. Joe from Cobra's point of view. That's amazing, because Cobra had some cool guys too.
Oh, they totally did. And what's her name?
Amazing.
What was the name of the chick with the really black hair? I loved her.
Oh,
Countess.
Raven? Was it Raven?
No, it was. She had really, really big breasts.
I know that, dude. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
Focus. What was her name? I'm efforting.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check this out real quick.
Cobra.
G.I. Joe characters.
Oh, I'm going Cobra Hottie. I'm gonna see. Let's see who gets.
Oh, that was the Baroness.
Yes, that's why. Yeah, I was close.
All right, so Baroness or Lady J?
You know what? Tonight I'm going Baroness, just because I want the other side of the coin.
All right. Baroness or CoverGirl? I don't even remember CoverGirl.
Oh, CoverGirl, I remember her. Yeah, she was cute. You know what I loved about those cartoons?
That's CoverGirl. Okay.
They drew big-breasted women, but their boobs never moved. Like, it's like they had the ultimate like Kevlar sports bra on. and then you watch some anime stuff and you're like, my God, are those things made out of pure blubber? Like, what is happening? A bit realistic, I guess.
Hats off to hats off to G.I. Joe for being inclusive. I don't know if they had any gay characters, but they had women in there. I mean, Gung Ho, he might have been gay.
Snake Eyes might have been gay.
Snake Eyes could have been gay. You're right. He totally could have been.
He was so secretive, dude. Why do you think he was so secretive?
That's true. Okay, Recondo.
Oh yeah. I mean, actually, I think most of them were gay. I mean, look at their bodies. Look how perfectly coiffed their hair was.
Leatherneck was definitely gay.
Yeah, don't look that good unless you're gay. Like most real guys, we just show up and either guess or you don't. We don't spend that much time. Law and Order. I remember that guy. Deep Six. Oh yeah.
See?
Dude, that's amazing. A full lineup of all the G.I. Joes. See, and some of these guys I don't remember at all.
I think I had most of them. I don't know who Mindbender is.
Dr. Mindbender.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Psych Out. I had Ripcord. I had Quick Kick. Grunt.
Law and Order.
Who was the sniper guy? Sniper guy was like my favorite.
There's Lowlight. This guy?
I don't think so. No, because on the cover of his sniper,
Beachhead was Aaron's favorite.
That's cool. On the cover or on the box when you bought the sniper guy, I'll have to find him. It gave this whole thing about how, if you even twitch a centimeter, that your target that's a mile away, you're gonna miss by 50 feet. And I was like, that was my first introduction to geometry. Like, truly.
Wait a second. I
was like, holy shit. Yeah, you don't just miss by a millimeter. You miss by a lot because it's so far away. Like, that was my introduction to mathematics. Damn, I need to find that guy. Because he was my favorite.
All right. I want to get into this theory. Can we do this? This is the 3 phases.
Long Range. That was his name. Long Range. Got it. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Let's get into this, because this is one of those rabbit holes that you jump in and you're like, fuck, this is way too real. Like, I want my trip to be done. Like, because, Alice in Wonderland and the whole rabbit hole thing, like, she obviously took drugs. But this is one where you're like, I want to sober up now, because the deeper you go, the more plausible it sounds.
Yeah.
And the more fucked up it gets.
All right. So phase 1. Tie up Russia in the north so they're unable to support their allies in the Middle East.
Done.
done. Especially when they're asking for help from North Korea and Iran.
And China.
Yeah. Phase 2. Pivot away from Russia, leaving Europe to hold the bag, which we were the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. Let's go back to like the last month or so. It started to slide off a lot. The Senate, the Congress started pivoting away from it. Nobody wants to give, not nobody, Joe still wants to give, Zelensky plenty of money. But you started hearing more out of our quote unquote leaders that the party was over.
I mean, this is the United States giving Zelensky a hand job. And then he's like 10 seconds from finishing. And we're like, okay, sorry, I got to go to my next appointment. And he's just literally left standing there with his dick in the wind. It's been amazing. Provide
strategic air support for Israel's invasion. Claim you can't commit ground troops because you've drained your strategic petroleum reserve, which we have. I don't buy that part of it. I don't think that's why at all. But that's... it's okay.
It's a fact we've drained the petroleum reserve.
Yeah, no, it is a fact that we've done that, but that's not why we can't support. Not why we can't send ground troops in. We're not willing to go and put any skin in the game. That's why we're not going to do that.
Right, but that's a nice excuse.
Yeah,
because if we just said, hey, we're not willing for our sons and daughters to die for you, then they'd be like, well, how committed are you? But if we're like, hey, we can't even get them over there because we don't have enough oil, then that's a pretty nice. That's a moral escape.
Iran retaliates against the U.S. by cyber attacking critical infrastructure, galvanizing the public in retaliation against Iran. Blame them for causing the stock market crash and banking system collapse. So that hasn't happened yet. But with the way money is being pulled back, with what the Fed's been doing, you need your COVID moment like back in 2020 when the stock market crashed in March. So I could totally see this being a thing, and then having it go ahead and being blamed on a quote unquote cyber attack.
Yep, 100%. And we've already had, what was it, Lindsey Graham, who was like, we need to bomb the shit out of Iran. And the reporter interviewing was like, unprovoked? Like they haven't done anything yet. And he's like, I don't care. We need to bomb them off the face of the planet. I was like, what are you talking about, you insane old fuck? Anyway,
well, I think we have Lindsay here someplace, don't we?
Oh,
here,
do we?
Here, yeah, we've got Lindsay. Let's kick it out to Lindsay for a second so we can hear what he has to say.
Yes, please talk
here. I am with Israel. Do whatever the hell you have to do to defend yourself. Level the place. We're in a religious war here. I am with Israel. Do whatever the hell you have to do to defend yourself. Level the place.
Thank you, Lindsay. You warmongering piece of shit.
Yeah, and he went on in that interview to say, Iran is complicit. He even mentioned Qatar, which Qatar historically they're like the Sweden of the Middle East. Like they've tried really hard to stay neutral.
Well, yeah, it's good for business.
They're Muslim. Yeah, exactly. They're a Muslim country, but they want nothing to do with these wars because that's not where they make their money. So they've tried to, and he's even like level Qatar. It's like, what are you talking about, you crazy old boot? What the fuck?
When did he turn into this gigantic hawk? He hasn't been that way until after Trump left. This might be the clip. Let me see if this is it.
Okay.
Oil infrastructure. The money financing terrorism comes from Iran. It's time for this terrorist state to pay a price for financing and supporting all this chaos. Yes, if you're the Iranians, if it were up to me, this war escalates, I'm coming after you.
I think this is what I'm trying to clarify here, because I'm wondering if
us in Israel,
the United States and Israel.
No, I want to be crystal clear.
Let me just understand to be clear. You're saying that you would want the United States and Israel to bomb Iran, even in the absence of direct evidence of their involvement in this attack.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it. What a psychopath.
I don't know where he's coming from all of a sudden. That's his role. He's he's ultimate hawk. He's not making any sense. He's as out there as fucking Biden when he goes off on one of his random tangents. It's just mind blowing that this is where he's coming from now. And yeah, he wants to go ahead and bomb Iran. It's bizarre.
And I mean that is, I mean, Iran is the seat of Persia. I mean, Iran, Iraq, that whole area was where the Persian Empire was born and conquered the world. Let's not forget, the Persian Empire encompassed more of the planet than the Roman Empire did. So this goes back so far. And these people are saying things that we can just take lightly, like, oh yeah, let's just bomb a foreign country. They don't see it that way. You're bombing history. You're bombing our rightful place on the throne of the world. And so we're gonna fucking come at you with everything we have. So it's very naive. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It's very naive to just say things like that.
So on that theory, pivot to China. So phase 3 would be pivoting to China, providing naval support for all allies in the region, boxing them in after having destroyed their Belt and Road Initiative through the Middle East.
Which that's the part of this whole conspiracy theory, because I'm going to call it that for now. That's when I read phase 3, I'm like, oh shit, maybe that is the ulterior motive to all this. Is that their whole Belt and Road Initiative was to go through the Middle East into Africa so that they could literally have a streamlined conveyor belt of goods, of minerals and metals that would be going to their lithium battery and electronics money making monster. And that's where you go, oh shit. I mean, this isn't about the people. This is about money, of course, and the economy and how China can capitalize on all this. It's like, wow, that's plausible. Very plausible.
So then you think about Taiwan. If you're going to continue with Taiwan, well, we're going to go ahead and take out your Belt and Road Initiative. Or is Taiwan the head fake? If you guys go after my Belt and Road Initiative, I'm going to go after Taiwan.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I've said before on the show, I mean, one thing, and I know more a little bit. Let me start that sentence again. I maybe know a little bit more than the average American about Chinese affairs, only because, my Sifu and half of my Kung Fu family, they are from China. And so they understand the social issues and kind of the lines in the sand that China will draw that we have no idea about. And one of those lines is Taiwan. I mean, if there is any chance that they can take back Taiwan for the Chinese mainland, they will do it. And they might even do it even if they know they're going to lose. They might go for it anyway, because that's sacred land to them. And we don't understand that here in the West. We're like, fuck it. We're with Taiwan all the way. And we, make our devil finger sign. And it's like, you don't understand the passion and the history that goes into the Chinese people needing and wanting Taiwan to be part of the Chinese mainland. And so that's big. We don't know the people don't understand the passion that's behind, Israel. They don't understand the passion behind Palestine. We just know this is what I'm going to go ahead and latch onto, and I'm going to be angry about this, and I'm going to lash out at people left and right. We haven't even gotten into the protests across the board and how the Friday the 13th jihad, nothing ever happened. Not that I wanted it to, but that was more rhetoric. We didn't even get into that piece of it. We don't have to get into all that. You guys can look up Israel protests, and you'll see plenty of shit going on. We know that stuff is happening. Right. So I want us to hang on to this theory. That's from at Finance Lancelot, on Twitter. He's a trader, and he posts trading stuff a lot, and this is his thing he's throwing up there now. So
I'm gonna say I'm in that court right now. I'm buying that one.
I am too. I'm buying it. I'm selling the 40, beheaded babies.
Yep. That didn't happen.
I'm selling half of what's coming out of Israel as far as rhetoric, and I'm also selling half of what's coming out of, Palestine, the West Bank, and Gaza. That's coming out from the Palestinians. I'm selling all of BLM. Like if I could bankrupt them tomorrow. Like fuck those idiots. I'm selling.
They're as much a terrorist organization as anybody. So let's just call it what it is.
Okay, BLM and Antifa, they can go to hell. Lindsey Graham, let's bankrupt that asshole. Sell.
Is he asshole or incompetent?
Yeah, definitely. He's both. I think he got both awards tonight.
Both. All right.
I mean, look at his face. He's definitely an asshole. And then by just saying that's incompetence, dude. That's warmongering.
Well, it's negligent. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's negligent.
You're right. Yep.
All right, I'm buying this beer.
Yes.
Really good coffee stout. It was a nice way to start off the night. And
hey, what was the ABV on that?
5.6.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. You're starting light tonight.
Yeah, I did.
You're in the featherweight division.
I am.
Which, for any of you who've ever met McShane in person, like he's not a featherweight. He never has been, never will be.
Nope.
And so no, I appreciate that. It's a good start to the night, but I'm expecting you're probably going to bring in something a bit heavier next.
The next one's going to be the next one's going to be fun. It's a little out of my wheelhouse too.
Well, I will just say that I know our introduction, that the first part of the show was a little spotty. I came in a little choppy, but I did have a mystery beer. McShane and I actually nailed it, just from what I was tasting, and just really fun segment of the show, really fun game to play. My wife was super happy that we guessed it. She was like, I knew you'd get it, but I just want to give you something a little different, which the cider was definitely different. It was delicious. It went down way fast, way easy. This one is one of those that's dangerous because it's a 7%er. So you're like, okay, no big deal. I'll have one. You know what? I'll have another one. You know what? Why don't I just finish the 4-pack? And then you're fucked, right? So be careful with this one, but highly recommend. My next beer has kind of a tough hill to climb as far as who I'm taking to bed, because that was delicious. So
and that was Shilling Dreamsicle, right?
Yes, exactly right.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and grab beer 2. And for those in chat, it's a little more bales of cocaine from the Reverend.
Excellent.
All right. So for those of you guys, so we were playing a little bit of Reverend Horton Heat in between beers, or while we're going out to get our beers. And Reverend Horton Heat, just fucking badass. And I don't know how old the guy is now, but his band is just sick.
Oh, they're still fucking blowing fire, man. They're still amazing.
So I am. I got while I'm pouring my beer, you got to read this. You see if you can read this for everybody. Where are we here? There we go. Can you see that?
Yes. Oh God. All right. I'll do my best. As witches, hermeticists, esotericists, and magicians of the past were forced by the institutions of the church and state to communicate in code, present-day U.S. cider makers are restricted from participating in the winemaking community wholeheartedly by the powers that be within the wine lobbyists and the TTB, whatever that is. Presently, it is illegal to label vintages, varietals, and the AVA appellations on cider labels. Although cider is categorized as wine by the government, the winemaking community has strong-armed cider from being considered wine to the outward-facing public, which really is fine by us. Having grown up in the wine country, we are fine with this division because the wine industry has devastated the natural environment of California. Overseas money has industrialized the landscape of California and corporate interests and have made it next to impossible for family wineries to carry on producing real wine. As a result of these restrictions, ciderists have been forced to communicate in code, as if operating in the Dark Ages. The spirits of the terrier and dry farmed fruit that we celebrate must be shared with you, our customers, through encoded means. Maybe someday we will look back together, able to speak freely about what we did, made, and enjoyed together in half secret. But for now, let us make the most of our playful occult symbolism as we present to you our occult keys to our vintages, varietals, terrier, AVAs, and aging methods. That's fucking rad. Good for them. I love underground shit. That's so cool.
So I have here Rocinante, dry farmed, non-irrigated, derelict heirloom apples, King Summer Banana Baldwin and Spitzenberger apples from a historic homestead orchard, York Imperial, Rhode Island, greening, wine sap, Rome beauty, sourced by the Walker family. This is an 8%er. And
that's a fucking gem right there. That's just a gem. That's a gem of a cidery. That's a gem of an actual cider. That's amazing.
Fuck yeah, it's a pretty neat little start here. Now I poured that out, and this, you know, you smell some ciders and you just know it's going to be like candy.
Yeah.
Sweet, mouthfeel's going to be, it's going to kind of roll across your tongue. This pours like a wine. I could have totally had it in a wine glass. I smell the apples. I'm getting like a cinnamon. I'm getting a very, it is funky. It is dry. Wow, that is. That is like a farmhouse ale. It has that same kind of texture to it.
Okay, yeah.
Very, very dry, but
Busy.
not. Yeah. Yeah. Quenching. That's just fun. That's we'll have to see how that one evolves, but really happy with that one. It is definitely funky.
And everything about this brewery is, I mean, well, you all heard it as I read it. I mean, good for them. Good for them for just saying, all right, fine. You want to be a bunch of assholes? We're going to take our football. We're going to start our own game.
Yep.
And fuck you all.
Yep.
Super cool.
Oh, and here's all the symbols. I didn't even see that.
That's fun. That's fun. Yeah, you all need to go out to this website.
Bardos Cider.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. BardosCider.com. And yeah, they've got all their symbols there. And I mean, every great culture, every great sort of renaissance was born out of something like this. An underground movement, whether it was the underground Boxer Rebellion in China, whether it was the Druids of the Celtic era and the Roman Empire. Everybody's had their secret codes, because if you're going to force people underground, well, you know, if I can't openly express myself, I'll do it in my own ways.
Exactly.
And if you don't know the code, then you're out of the club. And I love shit like that. I feel like Whiskey Hell is its own club. Yeah. And so, this is right up our alley. Great find, man. Great find.
Fun stuff. And they've got an apple and grape one that I'll go back and I'll try that next time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'll see if I can bring that in. So, all right, what you got over there?
So hold on. I need a little bit more light here.
That's all right. Throw it on.
So this is from Abomination Brewing.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Abomination, and they're actually from Connecticut, but we, for whatever reason, get a lot of their stuff out here. This one is called Forbidden Pumpkin. I said I was doing that's them. Said I was doing a pumpkin beer. This is the Forbidden Pumpkin. Now, I did go a little bit different than what's in my wheelhouse. I love the pumpkin porters. I love the pumpkin stouts. This one happens to be an Imperial milkshake style IPA brewed with pumpkin, spices, vanilla, and milk sugar.
I don't recall you ever having a pumpkin IPA on here, let alone a shake.
I don't recall ever seeing one. So this to me is just fun. Now I have done their Midnight Snack series.
Right.
And they have a pumpkin version of that, which I'm trying to find because I've not had that one yet. But they do their Midnight Snack series, which is like a dessert fucking hazy IPA, which is amazing. But no, I've not seen a milkshake IPA that is also pumpkin. So I am cautiously stepping into this. However, I'm also kind of excited because if they can pull this off, what a fun new genre to get into.
What was the name of this one before you go? Sorry. Forbidden Pumpkin?
Yes, Forbidden Pumpkin. Exactly
well,
right.
There it is. You go. Yep.
Yeah, and I love their artwork. They do great artwork at this brewery. So,
yeah, these guys are
cool
creepy.
Stuff.
Creepy
yeah, right.
Fuck.
Exactly. Creepy and a little cartoonish, so you don't get, you don't have nightmares about it, but creepy enough where you're like, hey, they mean some business. So anyway, it's a 9.3%er. So even if it sucks, I'm going to have a great night. So let's see what we got here.
Well, shout out to Grace Taproom Tabby. She's with us now. Welcome. Hope your show went great tonight. Another awesome show you guys should check out. Grace Taproom. You got a pretty sweet Patreon too.
Oh my, what the fuck is this?
Uh-oh.
What in the hell did they do?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Mike, not Tabby.
Okay.
Walk us through it.
So I'm getting a bit of a Frankenstein vibe here. And what I mean by that is they're piecing together like Michael Jordan's right arm with Babe Ruth's left arm, and then like I don't know, Junior Seau's torso. So like, yes, you're gonna have a great athlete out of all that, but it's not gonna really know what it's doing. Am I a basketball player? Am I a football player? Am I a baseball player? That's kind of what this beer is doing. It's not really sure what it wants to be. It wants to be an IPA. And then on the back end, it's, what this is? It's, you take a bite of pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
And then you wash it down with a really bitter IPA.
Oh. So you're getting slapped around.
You're getting all of that. Yes, exactly. This one, I'm in a fucking dogfight here. This thing is very unique, very interesting. I'm not discounting it yet. I would kind of like I would like it to warm up a bit. It needs to open because it's pretty cold. So we'll see how it warms up. But yeah, it doesn't really know what it wants to be. Are you a dessert beer, or are you a hey, let's fucking do this tonight beer? Very interesting. Again, I'm not saying no. I'm just not really sure what I've got here in my hands.
I don't recall hearing a milkshake IPA before. That's really weird to me. So I'm really interested to see how that opens up, and if you start getting more spices and things. But it sounds bitter though, right?
A little bit. Yeah, it's bitter up front, and then you get that's what's weird about it, is you get all the sweet, savory cinnamons and cinnamons and the allspice and the cloves. That's all in there, but it's an IPA first, which I kind of have to appreciate.
So it's got levels though. I mean, it's like you get it's like an onion. You peel layers.
Yeah, every sip is another layer. Very interesting beer. I will say this is probably the most unique flavor note. The flavor notes I'm getting from this, probably the most unique beer I've had in months, maybe even years. Very, very strange.
Elle wants to know if that milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Well, it does. I mean, it has to. That's what we do on this show. I mean, we bring everyone to the yard.
Mike's in chat now, and he said his penis is mediocre. I don't know why you had to share that, but I appreciate your honesty, and I'm really glad that you were able to level with everybody. That way to own it, though. I mean, just because it's mediocre now doesn't mean later on it can't be great. You just need to work out more. You need to make sure you're using it. Maybe try different kinds of tricks with it. Stand on your head, stuff like that. That's what's going to make that penis amazing. So you stick with it. Aaron's got a discontinued porter.
Yeah, I saw that. Which is sad because that's always a gamble, because you're like, well, I'm going to buy it because it's cheap, right? It's usually, if they're discontinued, it's cheap. But what if you love it?
Oh, yeah.
What if you love it and then it's gone forever?
I like to call it, they're just making a market, so then they'll bring it back in a couple years.
Right. It's the whole McRib, a limited time. And so you go out and buy a McRib every day for a month, and then if you don't die, you have that to look forward to again next year. Active chat tonight.
Chat is going
job,
off,
guys.
and it's all about Mike's penis now. And you know what, Buttercup, that was really nice of you. One man's mediocre is another man's exceptional.
That's absolutely right. And
that was really.
That is one thing about being a guy is, all of us can find our niche, right?
That's right.
Did I want to be 6'3" and 220 pounds of pure muscle? Absolutely. But I never got there. So, I do what I do to make me unique and palatable. I wouldn't say I'm attractive, but I'm definitely palatable. And we all have our thing. So, Mike, you do you, man. I'm not sure I want to see a penis be able to pick up a peanut, but if you could do that, you would definitely that's an OnlyFans thing. You'd make bank.
Exactly.
So do that.
Yeah. It's like you can turn it into like a fishing pole, all kinds of stuff.
Hey, L, I just want to say there's no such thing as mediocre pussy. That does not exist. There's pussy, which all of it is amazing, and then there's,
well, wait,
everybody else.
Let's throw it to Joey Behar and see if we still feel that way.
The economy is booming. Yeah. Inflation is down. The stock market is doing well. People are having an easier time putting bread on the table, etc. He doesn't seem to be getting the credit for that. Only 41% approval. Is it because they think he's old? Because I don't see anything else they can point to with him particularly.
She's such a fucking joke. And to your point, McShane, she's an idiot. But I guarantee you, her nether regions are sweet. They're delicious.
Oh no!
I guarantee it, dude. I'm saying by the end of that beer that you're drinking right now, I'm saying as long as you could bag it, you would do it.
No, not that one. No.
Joe's with me. With me. Who else?
This is a first. I think we're gonna have some kind of a Joe, or it'll be like a Joy Behar has sweet breads or sweet goods or something will be our show title now. Damn it!
Oh, that needs to be a T-shirt.
Both of you
Joy Behar's brain is fucked, but her vag is on point or something.
So sweet. Well, let's go out and look at what Paul Krugman said this week.
Okay.
As far as the economy going.
Yeah, now you're getting serious. Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of pussies, CPI excluding food, energy, shelter, and used cars is phenomenal.
I love this. It's like everything you need. If we take all that out, CPI is doing great. Inflation is not even a problem.
How does this even, what kind of a tone deaf moron decides that this is a good thing to put out there?
Dude, and he put it out there. Like this was a serious tweet, and he got lambasted. I mean, there were thousands of comments within the first couple hours of putting this out. Oh yeah, he got crushed. But why would you think this was a good idea? you can't honestly, unless you're a multimillionaire, you can't honestly think that the economy, that you're insulated from the shit that's happening in the economy. I mean, I think I quoted last week that people making 75 grand or below are, they're going paycheck to paycheck right now. That's insane.
You've got people that make over 150K living paycheck to paycheck, and they're also tidying things up with a credit card in between each check.
Right. Well, and you also have a record number of Americans who have more than one job. I think it's like close to 1 million people have 2 jobs or more. I mean, I was saying, I said it jokingly, but in all reality, I have 4 jobs. I have my full-time job that pays the bills.
Right.
But then I also have, I teach my martial arts. I'm doing consulting, educational consulting on the side. And then we have the podcast, which, make no mistake, this is a job. I mean, it's ongoing all week. We're doing stuff for this podcast. And so that's 4 jobs. That's crazy. And I'm not saying like we are socking money away for a fucking trip to Japan. We're not. We're okay, but we don't. Number one, we don't have kids. We own both of our vehicles, so we don't have a car payment. I mean, people are really suffering. And then this idiot, Paul Krugman, puts out this tweet like, "Hey, everything's fine. It's all getting better. Everybody should just calm down." And Joy Behar saying it's easier to put bread on the table. What the fuck universe are you living in, you idiot?
Well,
it's harder.
Yeah, and whose paychecks is she cashing? I mean, everybody from The View, right? We bag on The View constantly. Right. None of them are good. I mean, there was even stuff they came out and they were Israel bashing on The View this week. And I didn't play the clip because it's just asinine. But
isn't Joy
this
Behar
is what they
Jewish?
do. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it makes no sense.
No.
But yeah, her checks are cashing. That's why she comes out and says it. She's on the take. That's what's happening. And it's just, yeah. So the economy is great, even though people have, they're working 2 full-time jobs.
Or more.
Or they're working 2 or 3 jobs and they have to work part-time because there aren't full-time jobs and employers don't want to pay out the benefits for a full-time job.
Right. So, I mean, that's a whole other thing. I mean, I'm not trying to open this can of worms. We don't have to go here tonight, but Obama and the Obamacare and the health mandates that were put on us did not improve healthcare in this country. And it only made it harder for the everyday working person to get decent healthcare. It only made things worse. And I know he stood on a platform of, hey, everybody's going to get some level of healthcare. It made things worse even for the poor people because they're getting drowned out in the constant cacophony of noise of people wanting appointments for things that nobody gets any kind of healthcare at all anymore.
Well, that and I've got a part-time job, so I'm not going to get full-time benefits. If I'm not going to get full-time benefits, then I have to go ahead and sign up for some kind of health care, right? That's the law.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to find affordable health care on my part-time job? Well, what the fuck?
Yeah. Thanks, Obamacare. Thanks. I mean, it's yes, well said. Fuck Obamacare. It's actually, I mean, when I was in that situation, we couldn't afford healthcare. We just took the $750 hit on our taxes. We'll just take that fine because it was way cheaper than trying to afford insurance, which that's a huge statement. That and luckily we stayed fairly healthy during that time. But if something big had happened,
oh yeah,
I don't know what we would have done. We would have been fucked. We'd still be in debt from it. So, yeah. Anyway, what do we got next? What's so okay? Israel is going great. Israel and Hamas, that whole thing's fabulous.
Yep.
We've got CPI under control. The inflation is not a problem. Bread's easier to buy now.
That's right.
We're completely isolating China, so that's a win. What else we got here?
Well, let's go back to Hawaii. Can we go back to Hawaii real quick?
Oh no.
There was some backlash that came with launching the fund, and I want to address and acknowledge that backlash right now. And here's what I have to say about that. I get it, and I completely understand. And I could have been better. And next time I will be better. And I understand, money ain't falling out of the sky and it's not growing on trees. And there's a lot of people out there who's living paycheck to paycheck. And I get it, and I know what that's like. I've lived paycheck to paycheck. $7, I know. I know what that's like. And when you are living paycheck to paycheck, I don't want to speak for everybody, I'll speak for myself, but I feel it's connected. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, I was easily pissed off and I was frustrated. And the last thing you want to hear when you are living paycheck to paycheck is someone asking you for money, especially when the person asking you for money already has a lot of money. So I get it. I understand. I'd never launched a fund before, but I'm a quick study and lesson learned.
That was The Rock apologizing for launching the fund for Hawaii after the fires that happened about 2 months ago. Yeah, well, that was, I mean, he's trying, right?
Yeah, he's trying. And I don't want to speak for anyone else. I'm not buying it. I mean, fuck you, dude. You already done fucked up. You can't just come on and make a fucking TikTok and apologize. And we're going to be like, you know what? Hey, no big deal, bro. Come on back into the fold. No, fuck off. You really jumped a line there when the economy was at its worst, when people were really suffering the most. And then you just, so cavalier, you just asked people for money. People aren't going to forget that shit. Not okay.
Well, he is trying to separate himself from Oprah, though.
He is.
You've got to find that's an interesting thing to have happen. Because when I read between the lines, I'm seeing, okay, you've got this billionaire a couple times over, taking a lot of shit online on many different levels, from the pedo level to the buying up Hawaii level, many levels, right?
Yep.
And now he kind of saddled up with her for that one, and she's barked back a little bit, but now he's trying to separate himself, and I wonder how that's going to play in Hollywood.
I wonder too, because she kind of came out swinging, and he kind of came out humble. And so, I'll just say, let's just put this into the context that we all want this to be put into, because I know you're all waiting for this. If this was a Tinder situation, okay? This is Tinder. I went out on a date with Oprah, and then I went on a date with The Rock, and they both asked me for money on the date. Oprah is a definite, left swipe. Whichever one's bad, right? It's left. So fuck Oprah. She's done. She was mad at me for not wanting to chip in for the date. The Rock, you know what? I'm willing to go on a second date with him. I might even be willing to give him a first kiss. He's not going to touch my tits, though. You're not getting close to these beauties. You're not. Not so until you prove yourself. There's a lot more work before you get under my bra.
You're not letting The Rock to second base.
No, he's not getting to second base. You might get some tongue. All right. Tongue to tongue, not. So that's where I'm at with The Rock. He has a lot of work to do to redeem himself. This was a good first step. I'm not saying it wasn't, but bro, that was a huge, you basically called me a racial slur, and now you're like, oh, my bad, I didn't know it was a racial slur. Yeah, you should have known, dude. You should have known better, and now you have a lot to make up.
I wonder what job he was turned down for. I wonder how much flack he got.
Right.
Those are the things that I want to know. What's he being banned from? That's where my mind went. All right. So one of the things that we did want to bring up tonight was just keeping focus, right? Because you see all the narratives, we see the narratives change. We've got all of this stuff happening in Israel. and the economy and all this kind of business. But here are the things that we noticed that has not been discussed. Okay.
Yes. This is
Hunter's laptop, suddenly that's disappeared. Okay.
Gone.
We're actually Hunter and his legal issues are no longer being talked about.
Yeah, I mean Hunter, not just the lab type, but Hunter, the cocaine gate at the White House, that's gone. Hunter's name is not in any headline anywhere. His laptop is gone. The money he made in Ukraine is gone. Anything associated to Hunter is gone.
Yep. Biden crime family. So all of the everything that was going on with the bribes, with the money that Biden was associated with, the Biden email addresses, the fake names that he was using, all that's gone. Biden's bad numbers, gone. We're not talking about Biden's bad numbers anymore. In fact,
and if it is being talked about, it's Joy Behar saying, "What is it because he's old? Because I can't see any other reason." I mean, they're putting it into these ridiculous contexts.
And he's doing a fantastic job with the economy, so you should get credit for that,
right?
Right. The bad numbers, obviously, inflation. We're not talking about inflation hardly at all, except for what we brought up tonight. Immigration, suddenly that's stopped.
Oh yeah, gone.
In fact, the pivot that I saw tonight, I can't remember. Oh, it's Jamal Bowman, that bastard. He said that he wants to make sure that hundreds of thousands of Palestinians can go ahead and move into the United States. So he's trying to pull that off. That's the only immigration that you're seeing now, though. Ukraine, suddenly that's pivoted away. Zelensky, I think they got a little bit more money out of us, and then he's been on tour the last 2 weeks. And can I ask you this?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can we linger on the fact that you just said Zelensky's on tour? But go ahead.
Well, he's on tour. He's been all over Europe. I think he was in Bulgaria. He was in. He's been in several other places trying to drum up support, getting some extra money and some arms and things. But he's literally going door to door.
He's the fucking Ukrainian Oliver Twist. Please, sir, may I have another?
That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. And as soon as Palestine came out and Israel, all that happened, all of a sudden you see him. I put up a meme and it was just like he was friend zoned.
Yep.
We no longer want to be going out. The U.S. wants to be going out with Israel now, and Ukraine's been kicked to the curb.
Yep. Pretty amazing, though. I mean, when you see a pivot that quickly, 6 months ago, half the fucking idiots in this town, in my town, Eugene, Oregon, were flying Ukrainian flags because to not support them would be insane. And now, like you said, he's not just on the back burner. I feel like he's in another kitchen. He's the shitty kitchen where all the immigrants work. Yeah. Like, we're not even thinking about the soup. He's a sous chef at this point. It's incredible. And that happened in a span of like 2 weeks. It's crazy.
Gas prices, no longer a thing. The WEF and the activity there, no longer a thing. COVID, did you know it suddenly disappeared?
What?
Yeah, COVID's not even a thing. Yeah. I saw a stat today, and I haven't been able to substantiate it yet. It was mentioned, reliable source, but I'd like to get a couple other sources. It's how we do it. Like 2% of the population that was expected to get the new vaccination have gotten it.
Okay.
That's significantly down from what it was prior.
Do you see Pfizer's profits?
Oh, they're tanking.
In Q4, or I'm sorry, Q3, they're almost in the red. They're close to being in the red. Like, they profited I think it was $200,000, which, I mean, what they're used to is billions of dollars profit.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And they're down to like $200,000 profit. And that I can't tell you how much my heart swelled. You know that scene in The Grinch where his heart swelled like 2 sizes too big? That made me so happy. So happy. I'm the Pfizer Grinch. That's what I am.
I see Hefe is in chat, so you can go. I asked you to unmute, Jeff. Go ahead and do that. Hey, Hefe.
What's up? What's up?
Nada. What you guys doing?
We're just talking about all the things that aren't being talked about. But I've got a video. I've got an audio clip I'm going to play for you guys in a second. If you guys want to hear it now, it's a good time.
Oh, it's a great time. Let's do it.
All right. Here you go, Hefe.
What are your thoughts on the candle that Gwyneth Paltrow brought out that supposedly smells like her vagine?
Yeah, look, here's the thing. If we can sell the candle, I think you're going to have to legalize prostitution. Because here's the thing. You put that in your window, some guy stops by, some guy climbs in your window with an erection. Yeah, he's not in the right, but, we're creatures. And we have senses, we have up to 5 senses. And, you can't say you selling whale meat and I get there and they ain't got no fucking blubber in the cupboard. You feel me? So that's the thing. You throw a couple of vagandles out there, don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if an OBGYN shows up at your door with some, tongs or whatever. I don't know what they even use. You got a vagandle or you light a vagantern in your yard. Don't be shocked when a couple of Dobermans in heat show up. Maybe a local soccer team. They're running, doing laps around the block, and they beeline over and bring a couple of frickin' everybody's got their own goalpost. You know what I'm saying? What's next? They're going to have probably vaginamite. Somebody lights that and throws it somewhere, and everybody thinks that some local lady ruined everything. And then next thing it's a Vagissles, bro. The militaries, they shooting Vagissles over there into the Middle East, and them things land, and they already hate women, but now their noses are going to make them think they have reason to. The vagescence that's going to be left in the air is going to tell them that they are vajustified. I think Gwyneth didn't think of this through.
Oh my God. He is such a fucking genius. That is Theo Von, by the way. Theo Von, if you have not heard of or checked out Theo Von, you are missing out. He is the pro at sounding and even looking like he's a degenerate fucking dude from Louisiana, which he absolutely is. But he's also a comedic genius. And I mean, that's just one little clip of him and what he does with stuff. He is so funny. He's one of my top comics ever. I just love him.
So Hefe,
yeah.
What's the Vagissle likelihood tonight? What's the essence of Vagene at the tables?
I could use some of that, I think.
Could you?
The last couple of nights have been lacking.
A little dry.
Little dry. little dusty. Yeah, I mean, anything would help. Maybe I should get some of that essence. You never know. You never know who's going to show up at the table and be down with that.
So what about if we did like a marketing campaign? You can bounce this off of Gretchen. I don't think Gretchen listens to us anymore, so she might not appreciate us very much anymore. Maybe. I don't know. If you're still out there, we love you still. But maybe ask her if the casino would like to do a marketing campaign that just revolved around the scent of Vagene.
It might, I mean, we could give them
in every room, maybe a nice Gwyneth Paltrow candle,
or maybe just in the high limit rooms.
I mean, think about this. Vajack Black, you know what I mean? Like you could go Vajulette. You could go, I mean, you could literally scent, a scratch and sniff sticker or however they do it. I don't know what they do anymore, but every time you pull one of the slot machines, you get the faint scent of a vagine.
They already pump in oxygen, right? I think L's on something. Exactly. You pump in the natural essence of one worker a night.
Yeah, maybe air fresheners.
Maybe that's what they're hiring for.
Oh God!
See that in the want ads.
Well, and I mean, instead of like, hey, you got 21 or hey, you got blackjack. It's like, hey, I smell Vagene. And then you pay them out. Hey, winner to the Vagene. It's endless. It's endless. I think that's where we're going with this, right? Am I right, Vagene? It's endless.
Look, it's got legs.
It's got legs. It breathes.
Vagina Nights. That's what we're calling it. It'll be a summer thing because that's when
Of course. When they really come to life in the summertime.
Oh God, the chat is just amazing right now. We can't even go through everything that's happening, but I will just say, I think quote of the night has to be, depending on the day, it could be like working in a fish market. You never know here. I mean, it just. Especially in Phoenix. I mean, it can get gamey, right? Everybody's got some BO and it emanates from different areas of the body. So I guess, circling, full circle, Hefe, full circle.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying is there's nobody, no hotties in the casino lately at all?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Well, you said it was dry. You said it was dry. I thought that's what you meant.
Oh, no. I meant just a financial aspect.
Oh.
No, we
God.
were.
Why is everything sex with me? What's wrong with me? I need to go to a therapist.
I don't know. It's not like we just set that up so that's all it would be.
I could talk to you over the phone, Fitz, if you want. Free of charge. First time's free. Looking for a real good therapist. Step into
I mean, just to keep it, copacetic here. I mean, how dry is this therapist? I mean, how wet are we going to get?
The sky's the limit, baby. I mean, you call it.
Swimming in it. Pools.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what I want. I want to be wet all the time. Or, I mean,
Yeah.
I want people around me to be wet. What? No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that I want wetness around me. I like wet. That's all I'm trying to say.
Moist? But not moist, fully wet though.
No.
Not like.
Yeah. No, I like them dripping. I like them dripping.
That'd be a good bumper sticker or license plate. I like wet.
I mean, with all the dumb shit bumper stickers I see every day, that would definitely make me laugh, like, or at least smile. And I would give two honks, like, me too, bro. Me too.
Solidarity.
That's kind of the Me Too movement for guys, isn't it? Like, me too. Like, I want them wet. I want wet. Me too.
Have you seen those videos of the guy that comes up behind a car? It's got the message in the back window written, says "honk, it's my birthday" or something like that. So he starts honking at him. He just follows him around like through the drive-through, the car wash and everything.
No.
Keeps honking at him. Yeah, that's pretty funny. They get pissed off eventually. It's good. Great. You asked for it. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah. Well, I have seen the one where, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say it was somewhere outside of Vegas, just because of the look of the landscape. But there's this dude driving down the freeway, and he comes up behind this car, and he has one of those like tickers in the back of his windshield or his back window, and so it's just scrolling this message, and it says there's a tampon shortage in this country because there's so many pussies around. And it's like scrolling across his window constantly, just over and over and over. And I mean, it's just really funny. So but it looks like it's right outside of Vegas. But that's the only like car scrolling video thing I've seen in a while, is what I'm trying to say.
There needs to be more of it though, because that's way better than just a
baby on board.
Yeah, because I mean, if you got a cop behind you, you can put something, on there, hey, supporting the blue or whatever, just so you don't get pulled over. And then, you got somebody, some guy is being an asshole, then you can put up some really, really terrible things to just back them off or piss them off more. I think that needs to be. We need to see more of that.
I agree, and I'm not trying to disparage anybody here. I'm honestly asking, what were the baby on board, stickies, whatever they were. What exactly was that supposed to accomplish? Like, was I supposed to, because I'll admit, like, I speed, I drive fast, and I bought a car specifically so I can do that. So when I'm weaving in and out of traffic and doing my thing, I'm supposed to see that baby on board, lick and stick, and I'm supposed to be like, oh shit, I better calm the fuck down, because
it's just I guess it could have multiple meanings. Like, yeah, just, hey, I got a baby here, so be a little extra careful. Or maybe that's all the carjackers out there. Don't steal this car because there's a fucking baby in here, and you're going to be nailed for kidnapping too. Just a heads up to the carjackers out there,
Okay. All right.
Isn't that called advertising?
Well, right. Like, every pedophile out there should be like, okay, that's the car I'm going after.
Well, yeah, I guess it could backfire, but
it could backfire.
They're not putting it out there. They're not putting it out there to not have they don't want their kid taken, right? So I guess, yeah, the pedophiles kind of get a leg up there, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're on your last fucking straw, like, this is the day. Like, fuck it. I'm done with where I grew up. I'm done with my family. I'm done with being on drugs. I'm going to do something desperate to get out of this situation. One of those things is I'm going to carjack a car. I'm telling you right now, that little tiny yellow...
That's my go-to.
Yeah. That little tiny yellow diamond on the window is the car I'm going to actually go for, because that means the cops aren't going to shoot.
Well, that's a theory. All right.
Yeah.
They won't shoot that car. I mean, I've been tempted to put it on my car. I've never had a kid, never even thought about having a kid, but I've thought about putting one on my car just to be safe.
You need to put a man and a woman on there, and then like 19 kids, and just see what kind of response you get.
The dumb fuck, this is my family stickers. Yes, you're right.
And then just have just nothing but kids. And then you've got a couple that are scratched out, and then you got a couple more.
Oh, and one with like a pink ribbon on it because it has cancer.
Oh God.
And then when the cop pulls me over, I'm like, I'm sorry, sir, I was speeding to a hospital appointment. I
gotta go.
All right, good talking to you.
Thanks for joining, man.
All right, see ya.
Wow, that just got dark.
Yeah, I feel like I took us there. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's what happens. You start talking about vagina candles. That has to happen.
That's a can of worms.
Hey, let's see let's go take a look at what's up with Fetterman.
Brightest, to Washington D.C. You all should need to know that America is not sending their best and brightest, to Washington D.C. Yes. Like, sometimes you literally just can't believe, these people are making the decisions that are, determining the government here. It's actually scary.
Shout out to Fetterman for throwing himself under the bus, I'm sure.
Fetterman part due. I mean, this is not.
That's not the same guy.
That's not the guy that got elected. No. You know what was amazing to me? Yes, that clip is amazing and it was funny. The number of people that put what the fuck was he called? The dude from Goonies. The number of people that put him on the comments was outstanding. Once again, the internet wins. I mean, it was every other comment you would scroll through, and the mongoloid, whatever you want to call him, the dude from Goonies, was
Chunk.
On there because
wasn't it Chunk or
Chunk?
Yeah,
Chunk. And what's great is with Photoshop, they put him in a hoodie.
Sloth. Sorry, Sloth. Aaron corrected me.
It's so good. Yeah, Sloth. I thank you, Internet, because I got many laughs off of that.
Whatever happened to Stephen Colbert? You remember when he was like really funny with Jon Stewart?
Oh, when he was on The Daily Show, he was the best segment ever. But back then they actually had some actual legit, platforms to stand on. That there was some actual social injustices going on, and they thought that they had some solutions to those things. So that's what the show was based around every week or every day. And then Colbert, the turn was, and I know you're all going to know exactly what I'm about to say. The turn was when he had the dancing fucking vaccines on his show. I was like, okay, this guy's bought and paid for. Fuck you. Fuck everything about the Colbert show. Unbelievable. Just sick.
Well, it was the pandering, right? It was the pandering. I'm bought. I'm paid for. Yep. Just go ahead and send me the information you want me to get out there. I'll go ahead and I'll make a joke of it. You want me to bag on Trump for a while? Sure, I can do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. You want me to sell your Pfizer, sell your Moderna? I got that too. Don't even worry about it. Just make sure the checks keep cashing. I wonder what the I haven't looked at this. I wonder what the actual viewership is for those things now.
Yeah, for all the nighttime talk shows. I mean, I'll bet you could take the number of Democrats, like self-identified Democrats, and that's the viewership for those shows right now. I mean, the numbers would be on par.
Well, nobody was missing it during the when the writer's strike went out.
Oh, fuck no.
Nobody missed any of that stuff.
Of course not. No. And I will say to that point, because I think this is an important distinction to make. Jon Stewart, kudos to him, because he has realized that he was part of the problem, that he was part of the corporate, steamroller, and he is no longer part of that. He has his things that he's going to be passionate about, and he's going to take a stand on, and they're very liberal views. But he also is like, but people deserve a fucking choice. You shouldn't mandate vaccines. You shouldn't tell people to stop asking questions. We still need to have this debate. So Jon Stewart, first and foremost, is a debater, and maybe even a master debater, and somebody who's going to ask the hard questions for or against his point. And so he has really separated himself. And I actually have heard kind of through the not the back channels, but just people saying that Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart, they don't even talk anymore. Because Stewart basically came out and was like, dude, you're backing the corporate bullshit that we railed against for years, and now you're doing it.
Yep.
And Colbert just cut off all communication. So kudos to Stewart. Fuck you, Colbert, and Jimmy Kimmel and all the other corporate shills. We're going to listen to and watch the people that are actually telling the truth out there and asking hard questions.
Hey, did you have Bigfoot on your...
Dude, yes, I did have this one. Yes, I did. Because not just because I live in the Pacific Northwest. I'll tell you what I didn't have is footage of Bigfoot taking a shit. I did not have that.
What the fuck is it?
I thought maybe someone might capture him, but the fact that he's just out there in the bushes and he just takes a squat and he's shitting like my fucking dog
this is a good place.
His walk. Oh yeah, right. And hey, there's a train. Squat, poop. I didn't have that part, so I don't know if I actually get to place a bingo piece on that or not. I'm not sure. Oh my god, the comments on this one were great. I've actually seen that exact picture. It's Bigfoot petting a raccoon. I've seen that on the back of a truck.
Did you really?
Yeah, if you've seen that meme, that guy lives here in Eugene, and he hand painted that on his truck. I see that probably twice a year. I see that dude driving around. But
That's fantastic.
It's Bigfoot laying down all sexy like he's on a fucking cologne commercial, but then he's petting a raccoon.
Just
if you've ever seen that meme, that is Eugene, born and grown here, right here.
So we've had aliens, we've had Bigfoot, we've got tons of earthquakes this year. In fact, we had more earthquakes this week. We had let's see, it was Japan, Afghanistan.
Afghanistan got
rocked.
Really hit hard. Yeah,
Seattle,
big ones. Seattle had a big one. I was concerned. Just Pacific Northwest in general. I was concerned. I'll be honest. The Global Day of Jihad. I didn't really bat an eyelash at, but the seismic activity was it was elevated, and one of the reasons because the sun's poles every 11 years they flip. Well, they just flipped this week. Like Wednesday night, they finally did their final flip. So what was the north is now the south, and vice versa. And that it has repercussions here. That's going to change magnetic poles here on planet Earth. And so that just happened this week. So I think that's why we saw a lot of seismic activity. I'm really glad that we here in Eugene got through it with no big deal. But what you're about to bring up right here, there is a high potential going forward. When the sun flips, there is an increase in global volcanic activity. So that's what we're about to get into next here.
So we had this. So this is electroverse.info. And it's a little bit, this is the wrong one. No, this is it.
Yeah,
cold records fall across the southeast U.S., plus a super volcano rumblings have Italian government planning mass evacuations. More than 500,000 residents in towns and villages surrounding the Campi Flegrei supervolcano are at direct risk. So you've got a supervolcano, and then at the same time, last weekend, we had 15 gigatons of ice and snow dumped on Greenland.
Yeah.
Can we put the whole fucking climate bullshit to rest now?
No, we can't, because that makes sense.
All right.
But hopefully everybody listening to this show will be able to say, okay, it's not an issue, because 15 gigatons, just to put that into perspective, that would cover the entire contiguous lower 48 United States in about 2 feet of snow. The entire country would be in 2 feet of snow. And that all fell on Greenland. And so anything you see that's like, the ice sheets are melting, Antarctica ice sheets are melting, they're smaller. The only ice sheets that are melting in Antarctica are underneath them is volcanic activity. The other ones are all growing in size. So yeah, let's put that to bed. Let's be done with it. And the increase in volcanic activity, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, if you have two magnets and you put the two poles, north against north, they're going to repel each other. So if for the last 11 years, the magma, which is heavily magnetically charged, I mean, it has a north pole and a south pole, all the rock, if it's been being repelled by the sun, constantly pushed down, and then all of a sudden the sun's poles flip, and now all of that is what was a push is now a pull. Yeah, we're gonna see some increases in volcanic activity. So be ready for it, and don't be surprised when a volcano or 7 pop off in the next 6 months or so.
So you're saying though that it was the sun's magnetic poles that flip, not our magnetic poles, right?
Correct. No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no. If the Earth's magnetic poles flip, we're no longer doing this podcast. I mean, civilization is over. Everything's done, and that's coming. But it might not be in our lifetime. I hope it's not in our lifetime, because that's a lot of devastation. But that is basically what happens every 12,000 years on this planet, and it's why our human history only goes back about 12,000 years, because it's completely devastating to the entire planet. We don't come back from that as civilization. Survivors make it, 1 or 2 here and there, and they reestablish civilization, but we don't make it through that as a culture. That's you want to talk about the Great Reset? That's the Great Reset. So no, but the sun's poles flip every 11 years and roughly 11 and a half or so. And so we just had that flip happen. And so, be ready for some volcanic activity here.
And like we said a few shows back, weird people make weird decisions when the sun is highly active.
Yes, that's the other part of it.
And what do we have going on right now?
Yep. You have minerals and metals inside your body. And just don't doubt that they are all magnetically aligned one way or the other. They have to be. So, yeah, anything that was pushing is now pulling. And to McShane's point, we're going to see a lot of upheaval. Again, not just volcanic or seismic, but, behaviorally in animals. You're going to see a lot of beached whales. Look for the beached whales coming up in the next 6 months. You're going to have fish swimming downstream instead of upstream. You're going to have butterflies. They're going to miss their mark where they're supposed to be, migrating to. That's it. This is just what happens. And then on top of it, you have political leaders who are like, you know what? Fuck Gaza. Wipe them off the map. I'm done. Because for 11 years, we've been putting up with their shit. So
I'm looking forward to 11 years of silence. Just everybody shut the fuck up and let's like everybody just chill out now. Can we be done? Can we be done now? All right.
Yeah. Right.
Fitz, what beer are you taking to bed?
God, actually that's kind of tough for me tonight. They were both solid. They both had something to offer me, per se in the bedroom. I mean, Vagene candles, Vagindles are lit everywhere. I think just the mood I'm in tonight, I'm gonna have to take the dreamsicle, the orange dreamsicle.
Wow.
To bed.
What music are you playing for it?
I think I'm going some Enya.
Enya, I was gonna say I felt Sade maybe on this, but
Sade.
Enya's good.
I think it's the right way to say that, but right. Sade, whatever. So maybe some Enigma. Remember Enigma? Yes. Something like that. And so this is a slow. I mean, I'm making love tonight. This is a love making session. We're not fucking. We're making love. We are exploring.
Each
areas of
crevices.
The body. Yeah, we're exploring areas of the body that haven't been explored before, or are on a limited time basis. We're gonna do that tonight. So that's me and Dreamsicle. I will say, again, one of the most unique beers I've had in a long time, to have a milkshake IPA that is also a pumpkin beer. Fucking weird, and good on you guys for trying. I'm just not sure I love it. I'm not. Right. I can't go there. Like I don't want the girl next door. And then we're making out, and I start to strip her down, and she has like scars all over her body from being tortured or something. Like that's not the surprise I want tonight. Oh. Some nights I'm like, okay, cool, I can roll with that, but tonight I want you to show me who you are up front, and that you are only into anal like twice a year, and tonight's the night. And so let's do it. Anyway, how about you? Sorry, I got a little over off road there, but
you know what? Part of being the other guy on the opposite mic is to just shut up sometimes and let you run, and that was a great place for you to run to.
Okay.
No way to run to, you? Baby. Nowhere to hide.
What are you taking to bed, man? What are you drinking?
Bardos.
Yes.
Rocinante. Really fun cider. Just not. I wasn't expecting the story that they had. I wasn't expecting the flavor. I wasn't expecting the dryness of it. Dryness in a good way, not dryness in a
right.
The Vagene way that we were talking about earlier.
The Vagine.
The Vagindle. No, it wasn't. Yeah, Vagissles, Vajustified.
Yeah, you weren't Vajustified. Yeah,
I wasn't Vajustified in that. Really, 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 really good cider. I'm not a big cider guy, but I do like a wine occasionally. And this was a good combo. You don't have two of these guys. But I want to have a supply of this on hand. Because I can see where there's sometimes where this is a really nice one to have. So
yeah.
And I like that it wasn't like that thick candy like texture that goes along with a lot of ciders, because that's fun, that's good and all, but this was like, it was really close to a farmhouse, and it was just really pleasant. Really pleasant.
You said that, and at first I was kind of puzzled. I get it, dude. I get exactly. I've had that kind of cider where it does take on a little bit of a farmhouse where you're getting. I mean, some ciders like, okay, that's apple juice with a little bit of alcohol content.
Right.
What you're talking about is no. This has apple in it, but it's so complex. There's so much more going on here. I totally get it. That's awesome.
Yep. Really, really enjoyed that one. So I'll be going back for them, and I'll see if I can get a hold of these, and maybe I'll send you out a couple if I can get a hold of them.
I would love that. Yeah.
I don't know how much they cost either. Because the place I get it from is Beer Barn. Great. Anybody who's in Arizona, stop by Beer Barn. These guys are awesome. It's a nice little bar, period. But their selection is just superior to anything I have in East Valley. I'm not sure. This might have been like a $12 bottle, probably somewhere around there, maybe $9. I don't know. It's totally worth it either way. So good stuff.
Excellent.
Big thank you to everybody who was stuck around and chat tonight. You guys, love the comments. The gallery is awesome. So.
Seriously, dude. The chat started with literally one person. Joe was here, and I'm glad he was here.
It grew.
It just kept growing. It just kept growing and growing and growing, and FA popping in. God, it is this community that makes this show amazing, and so thank you all for showing up, because this was great. And the comments, seriously, I muted myself twice because I was laughing at the comments. So thank you all for allowing us to entertain you, but most of all, thank you for entertaining us, because it was really, really fun tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to say it, Pod. Make sure you check out Aaron's show. I had to say it, Pod. Joe, Bold Talk by Joe. You guys got to check out theirs. Gray's Tap Room is awesome as well. You guys need to go there too. And shout out to Elle. Thank you for joining us, and Buttercup, who was in chat.
Buttercup, yep.
And a big special shout out to Mike's Mediocre Cock. I hope that gets better for you, buddy. Keep working at it.
Yeah. You know what? There's exercises for that, man.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm just saying,
okay.
You can work out.
That's right. All right. On behalf of Hefe, y'all have a good night. I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz. We love every one of you.
We'll talk to you soon.